Good morning, boys and girls.
Today we are going to do day 1 of lesson 11-3. I can use line plots to solve problems with fractions.
Let's start with the solve and share. Miss Earle's class measured the lengths of 10 caterpillars in the school garden. The caterpillars had the following lengths in inches: 3/4, 1 1/4, 1 3/4, 1 1/2, 1, 1, 3/4, 1 1/4, 1 3/4, 1 1/2. Plot the lengths on the line plot. Write and solve an equation to find the difference in length between the longest and shortest caterpillars. Miss Schultz, what do we need to find?
We need to find the difference in length between the longest and shortest caterpillar.
What do we already know?
So I know the lengths of 10 caterpillars, and I need to use a line plot to find out the length of the shortest caterpillar and the length of the longest caterpillar, and then I can find the difference between both.
I'm hearing a key word here. What operation do you think we're going to use to find the difference?
Well, I know when I need to find the difference, I need to use subtraction.
Great. So let's start here. I see Mr. Rivera is trying to tell us something.
Oh, he's saying, look carefully. Some of the lengths of the caterpillars have different denominators.
My Bitmoji is telling us that we should make the two fractions that are different into equivalent fractions so that they all have the same denominator.
Yeah, and my Bitmoji is saying, let's change the 1 1/2 to an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 4. This way it matches all the other pieces of data.
So I'm seeing here right under the arrow, we're trying to convert 1 1/2 into something 1 and blank fourths. So how can we turn 1/2 into fourths? What would we need to multiply by?
We need to multiply by a fraction that's equal to 1. And in this case, if I need to multiply 2 to get to 4, I need to multiply 2 times 2. So I would need to use the fraction 2/2.
So then if we multiplied the 1 times 2, what would we get?
2.
So the answer would be 1 2/4.
Good. Now we can replace both the 1 1/2 in our data set with 1 2/4.
Let's go to a clean page to make the line plot. So we have all of our data here. What should we do first, Ms. Schultz?
Since we have to find the shortest and longest caterpillar, and all of our data is all scrambled together out of order, let's rearrange our data from the shortest to the longest length so that we can see clearly and create our number line using the data. So let's start with the shortest fraction. The shortest length of the caterpillar listed is 3/4, and there's 2 3/4. So let's cross those out.
Got it.
The next shortest is 1 inch, and there's 2 1 inches.
1, 2, got them.
And the next shortest caterpillar is 1 1/4, and there are 2 caterpillars that are 1 1/4 inches.
I'm noticing that if we order it, it's going to be much easier to make sure that we do not forget any numbers.
Yep, and crossing out while you're reordering helps you not miss any data, and it also helps with making the line plot. Our next shortest is the 1 1/2, which we now know is 1 2/4. So we can cross both the caterpillars that are 1 1/2 out. And then the tallest caterpillar is 1 3/4, and there are 2 caterpillars that are 1 3/4 inches long.
I'm thinking too, another way to double check our numbers is that in the problem it says 10 caterpillars, so we need to make sure we have 10 numbers, and once we plot it, we should make sure we have 10 x's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Perfect. So now we have data on all 10 caterpillars. So let's start by making X's on our line plot for each caterpillar. So we have 2 caterpillars that are 3/4 inches long. So let's put 2 X's.
Fourths and put 2 X's there. Oops.
Also cross them out in our data set so that we don't get confused.
3/4 done, 3/4 done.
Okay. The next side length of the caterpillars are 2 caterpillars are 1 inch long. So let's put 2 X's above 1.
And cross out the 2 ones.
Okay. There are 2 caterpillars that are 1 and 1/4 inches long. And don't forget to cross them out of our data set. And there are 2 caterpillars that are 1 and 2/4 inches long, or 1 and 1/2 inches long. And there are 2 caterpillars that are 1 and 3/4 inches long.
I'm just looking at this data right now, Ms. Schultz, and I realize all the numbers in inches have the same amount of caterpillars at that length.
Yep, that's a good observation. And one thing that you can notice is a way to find the shortest caterpillar is to look all the way to the left on your number line, on your line plot. And the measurement that has an X that is the smallest is 3/4, and there are 2. So the shortest caterpillar is 3/4 inches long. Now, to find the length of the longest caterpillar, we would do the opposite and look all the way to the right of the line plot, and whichever measurement has the last dot is the longest caterpillar, which in this case is 1 and 3/4 inches long.
So what I did here is I kind of just duplicated these numbers because I know we're going to use them when we set up our equation.
Good idea. So we need to find the difference between the longest caterpillar and the shortest caterpillar. So the longest caterpillar is 1 and 3/4 inches long. And I know to find the difference, I have to use subtraction. So I'm going to subtract the length of the shortest caterpillar, which is 3/4 inches long. And that's going to leave me with 1 inch. 3/4 minus 3/4 is 0, and I have 1 whole left over. So 1 inch is the difference between the longest and shortest caterpillar.
Great job. Let's try another one. Rowan's class measured the snow for 5 days. The line plot shows the heights of the snowfall they recorded. How many inches of snow were recorded? What amount of snowfall occurred most often? So what are we going to do here to solve this problem?
So first we need to find how many inches of snow were recorded. And we can look at our line plot that they've given us, heights of snow in inches, and I can tell how many inches of snow were recorded by looking at the dots on the line plot.
So Ms. Schultz, it looks like we need to find the total amount of snow in the 5 days. How could we do that?
Right, so let's look at our line plot, heights of snowfall. We need to add up the total amount of inches of snowfall that has fallen over the course of 5 days. So it looks like one day it snowed 1/4 inches.
I'm going to bring all the amounts out here, then we could set up our equation.
Great. So it looks like 2/4 inches fell over the course of 3 days. Or I'm sorry, I should say 3 days, 2/4 inches fell. So we have to show 2/4 3 times.
So each number in our equation is going to represent a dot on our line plot.
Correct. And each dot represents a day in the 5 days. And then there was one day that it snowed 3/4 inches.
So I heard you saying adding, so I'm going to bring in our plus signs here.
Yes. because we wanted to find how much snowfall was recorded, the total amount.
I'm just stepping ahead and I'm trying to look at the denominators. Are we gonna have to do any conversions here or no?
No, all the denominators are the same. So we can go ahead and add. We don't have to find any equivalent fractions because we know our denominator is going to stay as 4. And all we have to do is add up our numerators. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 more is 5. 5 plus 2 more is 7. 7 plus 3 equals 10.
So Ms. Schultz, if we have 10/4, that looks like an improper fraction to me.
Yeah, we can't use that. So we're going to need to rename it as a mixed number.
So how many times does 4 go into 10?
So 4 can go into 10 2 times, so that will be 2 wholes. And then if I count up, 8, 9, 10, that leaves 2 left over out of 4. So 2 2/4, which is also the same as 2 1/2.
So that's going to be our final answer, 2 1/2. Oops. Sorry about that. 2 1/2 inches of snowfall were recorded.
Correct. Okay, and then we're not done because now we also need to answer the question that says, what amount of snowfall occurred most often? And I think Mr. Rivera is trying to tell us something at the bottom.
He's saying that the value with the greatest number of dots is the value that occurs most. So which number here has the greatest number of dots?
So that looks like 2/4 inches. And we can tell that that's true because it has 3 dots. And that means 3 days it snowed 2/4 inches.
And the other amounts only happened 1 day each. So we know that that is the one that occurred most often.
Correct. Stay tuned for day 2 tomorrow.
See you next time.